special meeting of the Frankfurt Plant Board for Wednesday, December 4th at 12 noon. We're doing it via Zoom. Madam Secretary, will you call the roll?
Member DeLong?
Here.
Member Cuban?
Here.
Member Mason? He will be a few minutes late, he
Yes.
said. Member Schneider?
Here.
Member Dutton Mitchell?
Here.
We have a quorum to do business. We have 3 items today. It's the Sharmista Dutta meeting. And before she gets into it, and if Hans doesn't mind, it's perfectly appropriate given the subject matter. I wanted to compliment, and I think I sent you all an email, compliment Sharmista and her team. As you all know, Saturday night, Farmdale had a major situation, and they called us, and Sharmista, Hans, Gary, Kathy, everybody, Bruce, the whole team went out there. I think what worked till 5 in the morning on Sunday. Then Sharmista said they were out there again. And to all of our teams, electric, cable, everybody that's out there in this weather. But I mean, it was a holiday weekend. Farmdale was having trouble, and Sharmista and her team just, well, you all really to be complimented, because I know that was tough, and you had it was tough out there getting them all squared away. So thank you all.
Appreciate that. Chris did an amazing job. Thank you.
Yeah. First item is item 1.1. Consider approving an assistance agreement and mutual aid agreement with Farmdale Water District. This is the same matter we had before us at the last regular board meeting, and Sharmista informed us that our attorney, there was a few minor tweaks they were doing, but basically it's the same agreement. Sharmista?
Absolutely. So yeah, Farmdale has requested some assistance in both in general in nature and as far as mutual aid, which Mr. Cuban has discussed. You know, we have a mutual aid agreement that allows us to provide emergency aid on an as-needed basis. So we have actually started that process. And then the other one is a general assistance agreement, and that relates to assisting with meter installation, meter replacement, meter reading, and some services relating to assisting with their capital improvement plan. So this is all kind of detailed in the board package and that assistance agreement and the mutual aid agreement. Both agreements have been reviewed by our attorney and Farmdale's attorney, and we request the board to approve both agreements. And
Does anybody have any, as I said, this is what we had last time and talked about, but does anybody have any questions for Sharmista or anything about either of the agreements?
I have a question. I know we had mentioned before that they were possibly open to AMI. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes, they are interested in that. And so right now we're performing I think call it a network study or propagation study, to where they're going to determine, you know, we have our existing towers now. We need to determine the existing towers, how far into Farmdale's system that they can actually read meters. And then there's also a second aspect, the accuracy of those readings. So we're going to go through that. We're going through that process now. I know the study is in progress. They don't have it's not complete yet. But once then we'll actually know, okay, what meters can we read with a reliable accuracy? And then next steps will be one of the changes I sent today this morning with this highlighted is basically each service provided under number 4, we're going to have a separate agreement that goes into those details for that. So for the meter reading services, once we know exactly what we can provide them, then we'll go into further details and we'll provide that service, you know, at that time. We'll kind of spell it out, work with our meter reading department, work with our guys, work with Farmdale, what information they need from us, what we can provide them. So we'll work all that out. But absolutely, yes, that's the goal.
So is paragraph 4 a complete paragraph? Because mine's blank.
I have 4 under my paragraph on page 2, number 4. I've got letters A through G with the services provided. That's not on your copy.
I have services provided, but it's under number 5. So it's meter installation, meter reading, meter testing, mutual aid.
Would you like me to share my screen? Is that okay to do?
Yeah.
All right, let me come down. Let's see if I can. All right,
So I guess my overall question, just trying to understand this better. We're gonna see how far we how far reach for AMI we have, and if the meters need replacing, they're willing for them to be replaced if it's even, feasible, with AMI compatible meters. Now, we're supposed to be helping them with meter reading services. If it doesn't reach that far, do we need meter readers again?
They have their own meter reader that does the drive-bys. So if it's meters that they're going to replace, so we're going to help them replace their meters regardless. That's it's like almost a separate service because they need assistance with that as well. But they call these extra devices called a smart point. And I have been learning more about this lately, but apparently there's smart points that can allow to be read by a tower through the AMI system, but it also has a dual purpose. If you can't do that, you can also continue to do your drive-by. So if we can't get to those meters, they'll still be replaced, but then they'll just continue to use their existing meter reader that they have now to do the drive-by for those.
Okay, all right.
So can you see my screen now? I'm not sure if you can, it's not showing. Oh, goodness.
No.
Okay, let me try one more thing. Can you see it now?
Well,
Well, apparently I
why
don't know how to
don't
share
you
screen.
just read off the items that are in 4, the revised 4 that we got this morning?
Okay, absolutely.
Just each point.
Okay. Sorry, I'm moving things around and now I'm losing it. Okay. I just had it open and I apologize. I had it open and now I've lost it. Give me a second here. Okay, so for number 4, we got services provided, and it says through the talents and skills of each system's personnel and by utilizing the equipment and other resources, FPB shall provide the following services. And this part I'm about to read next is what we just added in accordance with future sub-agreements or work orders. So we didn't have that included. We wanted to make sure that each service provided has its own separate agreement. So under A is the meter installation services. So we're going to assist with that. B is the meter reading services, which we just discussed. And then C, meter testing services. We have a test bench here, and Farmdale already uses us now to test meters, so we'll just continue to do that. D is the mutual aid agreement, which is also attached as a sub-agreement to this agenda item. And then E is assistance with project profiles, grant applications, and applying for low interest loans and forgivable loans. And that's we apply for a lot of those grants and low interest loans now, and I think they just need assistance on that process, what loans that their district applies for, and so forth. F is assistance with development of a capital improvement plan, and that is something that is actually due by the end of the year. So basically, as soon as we get this agreement, signed by both parties, I'll probably go ahead and get started on that, but immediately assist them with that capital improvement plan. And then G is just a catch-all, other duties or services as may be considered necessary.
Okay, thank you. I have reviewed all that. It's just listed under 5 for me. And I'm opening the latest version from this morning, 8:56, but it's okay because I've reviewed that language. So thank you.
Okay. Does anybody else have any questions for Sharmista? If not, do we have a motion?
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion's approved. And I would go on and add the magistrate who was involved Saturday night, and then yesterday, Judge Mueller was very interested in what we were doing and working with both Farmdale and Peaks Mill. And I know he, on behalf of the court, is very appreciative of what we're doing because they know there's some things that need to be done, and I think they're all very appreciative. So, Sharmista, again, thank you all.
Thanks.
Next item on Sharmista's agenda is 1.2, consider award of bid number 1813 for the Leestown Road Pump Station to S&K Equipment for $547,924.
So we sent bids out for the construction of a pump station. We received 2 bids. I had it set up, if you see the attached bid tab, I was looking at it so the pump station itself will include everything, the building and everything that goes inside the building. So all the pumps, motors, everything, all the analyzers, the motor control panels will all be already attached inside the building. So basically delivered as a full station. So there was talks about the generator. This area always experiences a lot of power outages. It's just just seems like they say they go outside, the wind's blowing one direction, they lose their power. So we knew that we needed to include a generator as well. So I had it as an optional item, but because the price from S&K, the total came in a little bit less than the other bidder at EFI Solutions, so I'm recommending award to S&K Equipment at $547,924. We have worked with S&K for years. They've pretty much been responsible for all the pumps at at the water treatment plant and all of our pumps at our booster pump stations throughout town. So
Those bids couldn't have got much closer.
I know. I know. Absolutely.
And this and compliments you and the staff that did the rebids. I mean, you saved a lot by rebidding this and going back out again. So, any questions of Charmista on this one? If not, do we have a motion?
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? We have a motion, second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All contracts awarded. Next item, item 1.3, consider approval of change order number 1 with Ferguson Waterworks for $44,710.87 for the Midway Waterline Extension Project. Ms. Dutta.
Yes. So in September, the board approved awarding to Ferguson for the 10-inch PVC pipe that Midway had requested us to install for the water line extension. So we had included the valves and fittings on our cost estimate, but it wasn't necessarily included in that work order yet because we didn't know exactly how many valves and fittings we were going to need once we kind of made sure we kind of tweaked the final route. So since we awarded it, we've finalized that route. We know exactly, well, not exactly, obviously things will change in the field, but basically how many fittings, bends, valves we're going to need. So there's an additional cost. Those items, a lot of those items were already included in the original bid as additional items as needed. So we determined we need about almost $45,000 worth more materials from Ferguson. And I added the additional materials, because we might have to change routes slightly here and there. I was requesting the board allow for up to maybe 5% more materials. I don't anticipate us needing that 5%, but I wanted to include that in this request. So that way, if we have to order more materials, a few more materials, we won't have to come to the board for another change order.
Okay. And we use Ferguson a lot, don't we?
Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Any questions of Charmista on this? If not, do we have a motion?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion's adopted. Next item, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So
So
moved.
moved.
We have a motion. Did Charmista, did you make the motion to adjourn? We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second, we have a motion. Second, all those in favor of adjournment say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, we're adjourned. See y'all later this month.
All right. Thank you.